Okay, now I give speech for the explanation of each spare parts of a machine. In the front of the machine, we can see the lock gear on the machine to fix the machine without shaking, and the emergency button at the left and the right side of the machine. So if you have some emergency issue, you can push down the stop emergency button to cut down the electricity for the flatbed or the carriage. So when you cannot power on the machine to succeed, you need to check if the stop button is pushed down. You need to rotate, open it to power on the machine. And also the both sides. Also you need to power on the general power switch at the right side of the machine. And this control system panel of the printer. This is the screen to show the some parameter of the machine and some pattern to control the machine offline. This skip position, pause, move back, move the print head backward, cancel the job, move the carriage to left, move the carriage to right side, and test the printing, clean print head, move the table to front, or move the print head to front, and this is for confirm enter. This is also the emergency button of the machine. So this is the control panel of the printer. All the functions we can control by the software. And also you can control it by the control panel here. And this is the dust-free protection cover. Inside is up-down motion system. So please do not take out or remove or touch, change the setting or the installation inside of the machine, because the table was high precision adjusted before delivery. And this is the printer table, flatbed of the printer. At top of the table, you can see some margin ruler to show the printing position on x-axis and y-axis. Also here have a margin ruler to show the printing position. And also, this the vacuum absorption table have some air breathing hole to support you print some flexible printing media like film, at the left bottom of the machine, we can see there are two linear rails inside and one ball screw to drive the printer head move front and backward. The left side also have the same configuration for two linear rails and one ball screw. Okay, this is the home position of the printer, and this we call the carriage. Inside have print head ink damper inside, and this carriage we can move from left to right to printing. When we move out of the carriage, we can see the wiper to wipe the waste ink from the print head surface, and the cap, the cap station cap for wet ink, color ink, and for varnish print head. Inside have ink tank, have waste ink tank and cleaning pump. And this is the motion belt for carriage and the linear rail for carriage. Must keep the linear rail is clean without any dust. Okay, when we move to the back side of the top printer, we can see this is the carriage board, electronic board to control the print head and encode system. And at the bottom of the carriage board, we can see this is the home detect position limit sensor and the encode sensor and the left limit sensor. So must be sure you can move the carriage freely. And when the carriage move to the right side home position, it will be detect the sensor. The sensor will be detected by this detect metal to stop the print head carriage move out of home position. And the same way, when the print head carriage move to left, the sensor will also detect by the metal. To protect print head carriage move out of home position, move out of the left position to protect the carriage. And this is the encode film and encode sensor. So before we power on the machine, you need to check to be sure the transparent encode film must at the middle of encode sensor and without scratched by the encode sensor or any dust or scratched the sensor. If the encode film got scratched or got any ink or dust, the print head carriage will not move correctly. So you need to move the carriage from the left to the right to be sure the transparent encode film are not scratched and move freely. This is the tank chain of the printer. Inside we have some optical cable, water circulation tube, and ink tube. So when we move to the right back side of the machine, we can see here is the ink tank system of the machine. The ink color from the left to right is light magenta, light cyan, yellow, magenta, cyan, black, vanish, and white. Each ink tank we will have the ink level sensor and the shaking system inside to protect the ink saturation. The ink bottle, ink tank, the volume is 550 ml. And when you power on the machine, the light, if the light is on, means the ink tank is lack of ink. So you need to fill the ink to each ink tank. So please do not load the wrong ink to the wrong ink tank, or the printing color will be not original. And if you bought the vacuum fan from us, you will got this vacuum fan, and the vacuum fan have the air input port and output port. So you need to install the air tube to the input sample and fasten it, and keep the air output port free. And here is the UV control system, the box for the machine. From the back side we can see this is the water input tube